Welcome to Fun with Annuities with your host, me, Stan the Annuity Man, America's annuity agent. Can annuities be fun? Can contractual guarantees be fun? Absolutely they can. Find out the brutal facts about annuities with no sales pitches or high-pressure nonsense. Just the brutal and factual annuity truth, which is all you need to hear. Let's have some fun with annuities, and let's have that fun start right now. Welcome to Fun with Annuities, America's #1 annuity podcast with America's annuity agent, Stan the Annuity Man, top independent agent in the country. I represent pretty much every carrier out there, and I'm licensed in all 50 states. Today's topic is a good one. Annuities and inflation. The beloved word, inflation. The bogey, the boogeyman, the thing that we can't see, the thing that we can't track, the thing that no one knows about, even though everybody thinks they know something about it. Inflation, man, I get calls so much about inflation. What do we do? What do we do when inflation happens, Daily Annuity Man? There's a couple of things. There's a couple strategies. We're going to go over all of that. Now, a lot of us had those economic classes in macro and microeconomics, and we understand inflation from the standpoint of numbers and how it all works and all this stuff. But we can all agree, nod your head, that the times that we're in at the time of this taping, some weird times. I mean, this is what they call blue water. We've never seen it before. No one's ever seen money being printed like this. The global connectiveness of financial instruments, the 24/7, 365 nature of it, the fact that over 85% of all trades are non-human, algorithmic, black box, high velocity type trades, that institutions kind of run the market. As I always tell people, if you're trading in the stock market, it's kind of like surfing beside a cruise ship. Some of the time you're going to catch a wave and you'll make hay, catching that wave. But a lot of times you're going to get sucked under the boat. And I think everyone's fear is get sucked under the boat. Another fear, though, is inflation. What happens when inflation hits? Now, I get a lot of calls, and they're always the same, which is, inflation has got to happen, Stan. It's got to, we're got to have inflation, right? Well, I've been for the last 5 years getting the call, well, interest rates have to go up, don't they? Well, I'm going to wait for interest rates to go up because interest rates have to go up. Interest rates are going to go up, right? Well, in the last 5 years, what have we seen? Interest rates going down. So when people say, well, interest rates have to go up, no, they don't. Well, how much farther can they go down, Stan the Annuity Man, America's annuity agent? Japan, anyone? They could go negative. They could go to zero. I hope they don't. I hope they don't. But to cavalierly say interest rates have to go up is the same as saying, well, we have to have inflation. Well, you can... In the world of confirmation bias media, meaning that you can find the site that will tell you what you want to hear politically, financially, whatever, you can find that site to echo what you want to hear. You can find a site out there that can argue for inflation, and then you can find sites out there that argue for deflation and make very good and strong arguments. My point is, nobody knows, okay? So when it comes to annuities, there are ways to address inflation with annuities, but the problem is too many times inflation is used as part of a sales pitch of a non-true, incorrect, misleading sales pitch on a product that does not address inflation. Let me be very clear as the top agent in the country that represents all carriers that's been doing this for a while. I worked for Dean Witter, Payne Weber, Morgan Stanley, and UBS for a long, long time. I understand markets. This is pretty much all I've done my whole life, okay? I'm 56 years old at the time of this taping. I want you to listen very closely. There are no annuities that address inflation properly. There is no annuity type that tracks inflation. And if anyone tells you that they have it, they're either stupid, dumb as a box of hair, or a sociopath, and they're lying to you, just trying to get a sale. If there was an annuity type that tracked inflation, then everyone would buy it, and that's all that we would sell. Nod your head. You can't be the rube at the table. You can't be the sucker out there. You can't be the person, the stupid person that believes that upfront bonuses is free money. You can't believe that there's an annuity product out there that tracks inflation. Now, in the current environment, the one that I hear from clients and people that are getting ready to be clients at the Annuity Man, they'll call and say, well, this guy said this indexed annuity will track inflation. Well, that's just a bull-faced lie. It will not. You know, I have nothing against indexed annuities. Probably sell more than anybody, okay? But we use them differently. We use them as CD products because they're not market products. And we also use them as efficient and cost-effective delivery system for income rider guarantees for future income needs, pension needs. So that's how we use them. But there are no indexed annuities that are perfectly adjusted for inflation. And I hear this all the time. There's a couple of products out there that say, well, if the index goes up, then the income stream goes up by that amount. Sounds fantastic on a broad brush, 30,000-foot view. But here's the details. Anytime, let me repeat it, anytime an annuity adjusts and increases payments, whether it's projected payments or a guaranteed cost of living adjustment increase that you can do contractually, that I'll get to in a second. Anytime there's an increase to the income stream, the annuity company severely and significantly lowers the initial payment when you compare it to a similar or exact same annuity without that increase. Annuity companies have the big buildings for a reason. They sponsor sports stadiums for a reason. They have big logos on their private jets for a reason. And that reason is they don't give anything away. So, for example, if your indexed annuity salesman says, I've got the indexed annuity that'll adjust with inflation and it will increase your income stream for the life of the policy every time the indexed annuity increases, all that junk, and they show you back-tested, projected, hypothetical, theoretical, unicorn chasing the butterflies proposal. That's unicorn chasing the butterflies for people that aren't from the South, that don't speak fluent Southern Yell. It doesn't exist. All they do is they significantly lower the payment. You know, for the people in podcast world, I'm going to do a visual. So I'm going to explain the visual. For people watching this on the Fun with Annuities YouTube channel, you're going to see it. Here's the annuity without the increase. Here's the annuity with the increase. So what I'm doing is kind of a Madonna Vogue. If you saw that video out there, everyone in podcast land, the annuity without the increase to the income stream is much higher than the one that has the increase to the income stream. So in other words, there's typically depending on the age of the person, etc. But let's just say ballpark 6 to 9 year break-even point from the annuity that has the COLA increase for inflation and the one that does not. That doesn't mean that you don't buy the annuity that has the increase. You might ladder it with a multiple array of annuities. We're doing a laddered situation or a laddered purchase. But you don't believe the hype, as the rapper said. You don't believe the sales pitch that says, this one tracks inflation. No, it does not. No, it does not. They don't give it away. Now, that's the indexed annuity pitch. Now, with single premium immediate annuities, you can attach what's called a cost of living or deferred income annuities, etc., which is the cousin of single premium immediate annuities, annuitized type products. You can attach what's called a cost of living adjustment, COLA, COLA. You can choose at the time of application what the percentage increase you want to be, okay? Which is great, that's fine, but understand, once again, the annuity company doesn't give that away. They significantly and severely lower the payment when compared to the exact same annuity, income annuity, that doesn't have that increase. Just understand that. They're not giving it away. And at the time of this taping, there are no more consumer price index increases attached to annuitized products. They'll come back, but for now, they're not around. The last carrier just pulled theirs because they were running on the CPIU, which is Consumer Price Index of Urban Consumers, which is kind of a little bit of they kind of play with that a little bit. But there are no, however you want to do that, annuities that adjust perfectly with inflation. So if that's the case, Stan, if that's the fact, Stan, if there are no good solutions with annuities for inflation, Mr. Stan, the Annuity Man, America's Annuity Agent, how do you do it? How do you address inflation using annuities? Well, this most simplistic way to do it, and boy, do I like simple. Me and Warren Buffett, we like simple. If you can't explain it to a 9-year-old, don't buy it. No offense to 9-year-olds. But here's what we do. If and when inflation hits, you're going to have a gap of needed income that you're going to have to fill because to make up for inflation. Just tell me exactly what that is to the penny, and we'll do a reverse engineered quote to solve for that, meaning that we're going to quote all carriers to find the carrier that will guarantee that contractual income number using the least amount of money. That's a reverse engineered quote. That's the most simplistic and efficient way to adjust for inflation. Hyperinflation, same thing. It's what's the gap? And we go and solve for that. But to try to buy a product or try to buy some packaged product that adjusts is, all you're doing is buying your agent a car for cash. I mean, they're paying cash for it. Those type of products sound too good to be true because they are. Anytime an annuity pitch sounds too good to be true, it is without exception, period. I mean, annuities are contracts. You base your decision on the contractual guarantee, not a hypothetical, theoretical, back-tested, unicorn chasing the butterfly example that you're seeing in the proposal. In fact, in some states, the back-tested number you can't show anymore. Thank goodness. I wish all states would do that. I wish the National Association of Insurance Commissioners would say, no more back-testing. We're not doing back-testing because it's misleading and borderline fraudulent, in my opinion, for you to look back 10 years and say, well, if I'd have known it then. 10 years ago? Come on. Everything was different back then. And with indexed annuities, the problem with the sales pitch is the index option can be changed at the contract anniversary date, every contract anniversary date. It can be changed at the discretion of the issuing annuity company without talking to me or you. So you might have bought a 10-year indexed annuity, or someone's pitching you a 10-year surrender charge indexed annuity. What are you really buying? You're buying a 1-year guarantee with a 10-year surrender charge. If it's a 2-year option, you're buying a 2-year guarantee with a 10-year surrender charge. And so the key is renewal rates. I just did a podcast on renewal rates. The key to indexed annuities is renewal rates. And I'm not down on indexed annuities. They're just oversold. It's one of the primary reasons that the annuity industry has a bad reputation, is that if you went to a lot of agents and advisors and said, you know what, I really don't feel good. I think I have COVID and I sprained my ankle. What do you think I should do? You know what their answer is going to be? I really think you should get an indexed annuity. That'll really help because you'll get an upfront bonus and that. I mean, they're myopic. It doesn't matter what you say. They're going to say, well, I need income right now. Well, you need an indexed annuity. Really? I thought I'd need an immediate annuity because immediate annuities were designed to provide the highest contractual guarantee if you need income right now. I mean, they're like going just square peg in a round hole selling index, and especially when it comes to inflation. Now, one thing that you can do for inflation, and one product that's brand new to the annuity industry, 2014 is the newest entry product type to the annuity industry, is what's called a qualified longevity annuity contract. And with that, and I have a book on that. You can go to theannuityman.com and you can order the book. I'll send you the book. You can go to Stan the Annuity Man YouTube channel and watch QLAC videos on what they do. And I've done podcasts on QLACs as well. But in essence, a qualified longevity annuity contract takes 25% of your IRA, or $135,000 at the time of this taping. By the way, it will change, whichever's less, and you can have income start at a future date. So, for instance, let's just say you're 67 years old and you're worried about inflation in the future. You can buy a qualified longevity annuity contract using your traditional IRA assets, and you can have the income start as far out as age 85. It doesn't have to be age 85. It could be 72, 75, 70, whatever, to combat future inflation. One thing that I tell people to do is ladder the purchase. So in other words, buy 3 contracts. Buy one with income starting at age 70, and then one with income starting at age 70 at 75, 80, and 85. So buy 3 contracts and just stagger the income start date. That's a very easy way to address inflation. You can do that with all types of income products. You can do that with deferred income annuities, which is the sister product of qualified longevity annuity contracts, and those can be used inside of an IRA or out. But you can say, okay, I want income to start at age 65, 70, 75, 80, and I've got $200,000, so let's buy $50,000 in each and have income starting at those intervals. That's how you address inflation. If you're not, or you can just keep your powder dry until the very last second and then tell me the amount you want to solve for and buy an immediate annuity. So inflation is the bogey that no one can, it's like nailing jello to a wall. No one knows, and no one knows when it's going to happen and when hyperinflation is going to happen. There's an argument that inflation's happening right now at the time of this taping. Yeah, sure, some of the prices are going up, etc. But you need to quantify exactly what that dollar amount is so that I can then help you put together a strategy either to solve for it right now, or we can solve for the possibility of inflation in the future, or the fact that the cost of living will go up with a lot of things that we use and buy and things like that, and have incomes increasing and starting at different intervals. You can also put a COLA on some. Let's just say you bought 4 immediate annuities at the same time, or 4, and you said, okay, I want 3 of them to be static, and I want 1 of them to increase with a COLA. You could do that. Those are the type of things that we need to talk about one-on-one. You can schedule a call with me at theannuityman.com. It's a 30-minute block of which we get down to business, and I start pinning down exactly what you're trying to do contractually, and then I'll put together a customized plan, run the quotes, send them to you, and so that you can fully understand how this works. I'll explain the benefits and limitations, the good and the bad. But what I want you to come away from this is, yes, annuities can address inflation. Can they do it perfectly? No. Is there one product that solves for it? No. Can we ladder income with future start dates? Yes. Can we buy a cost of living adjustment rider increase to an immediate annuity? Yes, but you got to understand the annuity companies just simply lowering the payment, and there's a 6 to 9 year break-even point in most cases. That doesn't make it a bad thing. But you just need to know the facts. I guess the biggest part of this podcast is don't believe that there's a product that addresses it. There really is not. And we really don't know when it's going to happen. If you came to me and said, Stan, what would you do? Stan the Annuity Man, what would you do for your mom or dad or uncle or yourself? I'm 56, so I've made the decision, if inflation hits, then I'll just buy an immediate annuity at that time, solving for that specific dollar amount. But for someone like my uncle or someone in their late 60s or early 70s, I might say, you know what? Let's buy a QLAC, okay, and let's have it staggered income starts, maybe 75, 80, 85, and split that $135,000. We can do that. That way some income's coming in at those intervals, and it's going to increase. You also know that your Social Security payments are going to increase because our politicians want your vote, and they're going to increase it to get your vote, and they don't care what they have to do to print money to get it, so they're going to do it, so it's going to increase, which is the reason I always say, if you hate annuities, you're an idiot because you already own one. It's called Social Security, and oh, by the way, it's the #1 top inflation annuity on the planet. And then with the remainder of the money, I would tell you to do kind of my strategy that I'm doing for myself, is at the time you need income, at the time you need extra income, at the time that you can quantify the inflation dollar amount that you need to fill in your income floor, that's when we go in and we reverse engineer the quote to buy a single premium immediate annuity to solve for that specific dollar amount. Follow-up question to that always is, well, what happens, Stan, if inflation keeps going up? We just keep doing it. We just keep solving for that inflation amount using the least amount of money humanly possible. I always tell people one of the biggest mistakes people make with annuities, and the annuity gods are frowning right now because they know what I'm getting ready to say. Oh, by the way, there are annuity gods. Anyway, is to use as little amount of money as possible to solve for the contractual goal. I mean, period. If you just did that, then we just, each time inflation kind of hit, we'd fill in that gap, fill in that gap, fill in that gap. And we'd also have discussions about, okay, what's Social Security increasing by? You're always going to be, figuring out what that income floor is going to be. So it really comes down to what's the income floor, and that's, that's Social Security, your pension if you're so fortunate, rental income, whatever's coming in every month. And that income floor is going to be the basis to decide if, #1, inflation has been hitting your lifestyle, and if so, what that inflation amount is, so that I can go in and help you solve for it contractually. Because with 10,000 baby boomers reaching retirement age every single day, which is 65, and they're looking for guarantees, the big thing that people want to do, really it's two. It's number one, protect the principal. And first is protect the principal, or number one is lifetime income stream, or filling in that income floor. My opinion, most people need to focus on the income floor part. What is that guaranteed amount of money that you need to come in every single month so that you can live the lifestyle that you've earned and you've scrimped and saved and sacrificed to get? It's the income floor. And then from that income floor amount is when we look at, and everyone's situation is different. You can look at and say, okay, we're getting by on this fine. I know we read about inflation, but for us, it's happening. This is good. Or you say, well, inflation's really hitting, so we need to address that, and we need to do a reverse engineer quote. Cut for a second, Brio, because I got to drink. So one of the things I want you to walk away from this podcast, Fun with Annuities, is that don't worry about inflation. Don't worry about something you can't control. Don't worry about something that in a lot of cases you can't quantify. We can help you solve contractually to fill in that income gap if inflation hits. So just put that in the back of your head. Go live your life. As I tell people all the time, there's no U-Hauls behind hearses. Think about it. I need you to live your life. I need you to have fun. I need you to realize that life is precious. Live it. Don't worry about things you can't control. I can help with the contractual guarantees to fill in those gaps. But if COVID hasn't done anything for us, it's been a tough year, time of this taping. But it's hopefully made us all realize that life is special, life is precious. I joke when I say there's no U-Hauls behind hearses to kind of drive home the point. You can't take it with you. You live your life. You do the things you want to do. Don't worry about what other people think. Do what you want to do. Have fun, and put in those contractual guarantees so you don't have to worry about anything. Hey, and that's why I'm here for, the Annuity Man. So as we say about the Fun with Annuities podcast, our saying here is live in the reality, not the dream. And what does that mean? We're living the contractual realities, not the sales pitch dream. And that's what I want you to do. So I appreciate you joining me on Fun with Annuities, the #1 annuity podcast on the planet. And I'm your host, Stan the Annuity Man, America's annuity agent, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for listening to Fun with Annuities. Please hit the subscribe button and make sure to go to my site at theannuityman.com, where you can run your own SPIA, DIA, and QLAC quotes and see a live feed of the best MYGA fixed rates in the country, and even get indexed and income rider quotes as well. You can also sign up for my 6 annuity owner's manual books, and I'll ship them for free and under no obligation. I also encourage you to schedule a one-on-one call with me, Stan the Annuity Man, so we can have a full discussion of your specific situation. It will be the best brutally factual and truthful advice you will ever get, and that's one guarantee you should definitely take advantage of. So join me next time for the #1 annuity podcast on the planet, Fun with Annuities.